to, the collapse of humanity, but I think this declining birth rate one is a particularly interesting and compelling argument to me. So yeah, what do you make of all of that and AI?
Let me just say first, I think this is like such an interesting topic.
Hmm.
And I mean, my position on it is much more full of questions than
Mm.
answers at the moment. I mean, like, again, I could go into bullet point mode. I maybe should resist. Maybe should resist that. But like, one thing is this:
Hmm.
that on the one hand, there's all these AI, Skynet, anthropocidal apocalypse scenarios, and again, like whatever you say about those, they're interesting and they're culturally extremely influential to a degree that's quite astounding sometimes. Um, Again, like I think this AI 2027 is an extremely interesting text. I don't know whether you guys have seen it yet, but
No,
their
no.
basic position is like as soon as it takes off, as soon as it hits recursive explosion, we're dead. They've just gone to this thing where it's like AI just means human extinction. In a way, I
Mm.
just think, hang on a second. Like, I mean, really? Like, you're seriously saying we can't have anything intelligent on this planet without becoming extinct? And it really seems like that is how they've persuaded themselves that that's how it goes. So anyway, we all know that there's a ton of that stuff.
Mm.
And then on the other side, there's this natality crisis and the collapsing birth rates. And as you say, like where I am now, like in East Asia, it's like they're people that I really care about a lot, these population, and they're all just totally collapsing in a way that's unbelievable. I mean, I like Koreans. I think the world is a better place for having Koreans in it. It's not going to have Koreans in it for long on
Mm.
current projection.
Yeah.
So, you know, those two narratives, how do you articulate that?
Hmm.
I mean, on one of them, it's just like, oh, AI doesn't have to kill us because we're just voluntarily extinguishing ourselves. I mean, that's one, like why do you even care about AI, Skynet? Just Skynet doesn't have to nuke anybody. It doesn't have to nuke Seoul. I mean, Seoul is just deciding that we're all going to die,
Mm.
quite irrespective of that. So I don't know how that goes together. And I think people in their minds are not really tying it together. I
Mm.
mean, people have a natality story and they have an AI story. I don't think they have a integrated
Right. Yeah.
AI natality story at all. Um, and then, yeah, the notion that it's going to save us from that, I don't know. There's a huge, interesting thing because, like, if you say, well, let's try not to be just doomerist about AI for the sake of it, and just think about what kind of relation could something much smarter than us have to us. I mean,
Mhm.
one of them is like humans to zoo animals with a kind of you know a positive sense of zoo animals. There is advanced, enlightened zoos. They care about the animals. They
Mhm.
want them to exist. If the animals don't breed, they don't like that. They
Mhm.
want them to be happy. They feed them. They don't want them to die. They, you know, so I mean, on that line, then you can see there's a whole set of scenarios in which AI actually kind of like we're the pandas, you know,
Yeah.
and AI like gets us to breed. Like um pandas seem to be just like our idol of the human race, doesn't it? Like they just like they want to die. Like why don't they breed? Like um
Mm.
and we just like round them up. We think they're
Exactly.
kind of cute. We force them to reproduce. We force them to survive. We force them to have a genetic future that they themselves seem completely disinclined to have. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I'm full of questions about this whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just an interesting thing that Dave and I were just talking about this morning, I think, of having questions about it. And well, Dave was, problematizing, well, this is just according to projections. What if the projections are wrong? And, Simone and Malcolm would say, well, even if there was, a baby post-COVID kind of baby boom for a year, well, that's not gonna replace at the rate that we would need to see to. So yeah, it is an interesting issue, and I think maybe this can kind of lead into talking about culture and some leftist culture. I think on the one hand, we're just seeing in our own lives, like we're just experiencing this, so many people kind of between the ages of like 20 and 40, kind of these millennial late Gen Z type of people. They're called dinks, like a dual income no kid type of
Yeah,
attitude, where not only do they not want kids, it's just not on their horizon for a variety of reasons, whether it's the environmental impacts. So they think the world is such a terrible place. They don't want the burden of children. It's too costly for kids. Like, whatever their reasons are, not only are they not planning on having kids, I mean, I have a dear friend who is just a few years older than me. She got her tubes cut out before the age of 30. So they're foreclosing that. But then there's also like just this rising, like, hatred of children. And so I find that really culturally interesting. Just not wanting to be around their friends' kids, wanting to go to adult only things, and then participating in these just like total consumer lifestyles.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and then there's also, I think, that same kind of group, and I think the people who fall within that same ideology are also very pro-immigration. And I don't think they make that connection. Well, oh, not a lot of people are having kids. Well, let's just have more immigration into our country. But that's the
yeah,
problem that the Malcolms see, or it's not the Malcolm, the Collinses see, um, is these countries saying, oh, well, we can just replace with immigration. And they say,
yeah.
that's a bad look to say, hey, let's bring in a bunch of Africans to our dying white to help our dying white population. Like that's not a very good look historically speaking. And so yeah, I guess like what do you make of the kind of the culture and the immigration lens to all of this?
Well, I think the word that often comes up because it's in America's founding documents is our posterity.
Mm.
So I think that when people lose that, weird stuff happens. If you yourself are deliberately heading into genetic extinction, then why do you care who is going to be next? I mean, you've just said you're just quitting. You're just leaving the table. I mean, um, so I think that's definitely happened. That's become a forbidden thought. Like to think that
Mm.
our posterity is something that we care about is something that nice people are not supposed to consider.
Right.
Um, but in some ways, I think events are overtaking all of this because, you know, the point is everyone's like I haven't heard this kind of the podcast you're talking about with this thing, but the pro-natalist people are right that it's just sweeping the planet and it's happening much faster than everyone thinks,
Hmm.
and it's not just East Asians and the Europeans, it's like, all the world
Hmm.
is just falling off a cliff like this. And like maybe Africans are still having kids now, but their
Hmm.
trend line is
Right.
is the same. And if they're urbanized and they're brought into the same kind of metro culture that everyone else is, I mean, it's basically now if you have kids, it's incompetent.
Mm.
Like that's Africans are having kids out of incompetence. They don't have contraceptives, or they don't, you know what I mean? It's like, it's not like, oh, they still have a healthy pronatalistic culture and they care about their posterity. It's just they've not got onto the trend line yet. And the
Mm.
Hmm.
trend line is like this thing like, we don't care about the future. And this is why this it crisscrosses back this AI apocalypticism debate. It's like people are just checking out the future. Like, is it at some level they just think it's not the future is not ours anyway? Like,
Mm.
who cares if you just give it to like people of some different ancestry for one generation, and it's all robots after that anyway? So like, what's the big deal there?
Mm.
Um,
Well, I guess
so yeah, it's confused. There's a lot of things swirling around in this.
Yeah.
since you haven't listened to Based Camp with Malcolm and Simone Collins, I'll mention a couple things about them because they're a cute, very interesting couple, and they've got a bunch of these great books. And when I say great books, what I'm basically saying is it's it's all very novel. Like it's very generative. It's like you can't read very much or listen to very much without having a lot of ideas you probably haven't had. And so it's like, that's the way that I endorse them for everybody, is just like, it's kind of a grenade, an ideological grenade. It's just going to blow your mind and probably frustrate you, or not you, Nick, but just generally the listener. But also it'll provoke in a good way, I think. And one of the episodes they did recently was Hillary Clinton going mask off with great replacement theory or whatever, and they're saying, well, okay, she's not straight up saying let's replace white people or Westerners or what have you, but she does say in an interview very recently, this is just a few weeks ago, that it's so messed up that JD Vance is proposing that there's like a trophy to moms with children over, with more than 6 children, and then she says something along the lines of, well, if they liked children so much, then wouldn't they like immigrants? Since it's the immigrants who are having the babies, it's not the natives. And so it's like that's an
Right.
admission. It's like a slip of the tongue almost, right?
Yeah.
And so they make a lot out of that. But
Yeah.
you referred to the crisis as a natality crisis, which is also really cool because we've been talking a lot at Theory Underground